Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another first-person viewcast. We are watching Reynor play Terran. His stream title, just the other day when he streamed this, was Learning Terran #1. And this may be an indication that we are about to see him learn Terran. And if he learns Terran, I am strongly of the opinion that he could be our very first Premier Tournament Championship winner as random. I really feel that if there's anyone who's talented enough, has enough speed, enough flair, enough joy for the game, and enough just intuitive, natural understanding of how to play, it's got to be Reynor. And if he could bring his Terran up to the level that his Protoss was at, I mean, it's insane. Because he especially in tournaments where he's allowed to pick maps, he can always pick Terran on the map that's good for Terran, Zerg on the map that's good for Zerg, Protoss on the map that's good for Protoss, and just the inability for his opponents to prepare for him will make it so hard for them. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to be a favorite versus everyone, like a Serral playing Zerg or Maru playing Terran, but I actually think he could definitely take series and matches off those guys if he could bring his Terran up to fast. So let's study. How good is he? He's playing against Australia here. We're watching his first-person view. And what's different about this compared to the last time we went and cast Reynor playing Terran, he was screwing around. This time, he started the stream by actually studying Oliveira's build orders from the World Championship, especially his TVP build orders, and now playing against Australia, who of course is one of the best foreign Protoss players, and actually just one of the best all around, a very creative player as well. He puts you in really weird situations, so it's going to be a good test to see what Reynor's strategy is like, and can he adapt and adjust with this build, because it's one thing to be able to pick up a build and play it in a very standard situation where you've seen it mapped out, but what about how do you adapt? Now, he's going second barracks before second gas. Sometimes Oliveira... Oh, that reactor's really late, man. His reactor's very, very late. He does cancel the bunker, though. Seeing a sentry, he realizes there's no risk of an adept coming in, so that's already a very good adaptation, realizing he doesn't need that bit of safety.
He's going for his third base.
And the Reaper's just going to make sure there's no fast third for now, it looks like. But, hey, there is going to be a fast third, okay. Oh, he could have got that. The sentry's very low damage output. He does get a bit of damage on the sentry below its shields, which is not bad. But behind this, it does feel like Reynor's macro is a little slippery this game. Orbital Command Center starts. He's got the tech lab on the factory and a third barracks building. Having the 3 barracks on the way is pretty darn good, though. Oh! Whoa. He's sending an SCV across the map. He's going to try and bunker rush the third base, guys. That is a wild move. That is a pretty wild move, that is. Barracks and factory swapping on the add-ons. Yeah, it doesn't feel super crisp. I think he's clearly fast, and it'll be good once he gets in his flow, but right now, he's being forced to adapt to a very peculiar scenario. I do like the reaction, though. If you get a bunker up on that third, you can force a shield battery there, a bunch of units out. The problem with this is it's a little bit of a risk. Like, if these units get picked off by the Stalker and so on, then of course, you're going to lose the bunker, the SCV. It's all investment, and what really do you get out of Australia? Maybe force him to build a few more units, but that's about it. Okay, he should just go home now. There's no way that's going to get up. He's going to run the SCV away. Reaper's going to try and fight the sentry, but nope, you can never beat a sentry. Reynor learning this lesson that most Terran players have learned the hard way. A Reaper feels like it should beat a sentry in a fight. It doesn't. And he's going to lose his Reaper. He could have instead maybe got a probe or two. But he's got stim and shields on the way. Lots of Marines building. The Reaper might actually get out of that base, but no. Hangs around a little too... Oh, it got out! He actually got it out. Not bad.
Actually, it wasn't a bad idea, honestly.
He says, actually wasn't a bad idea, honestly. Notice he's gone engineering bay, then he goes starport, third gas, and gets the reactor on the factory to get that swap around. This is a really nice build order. This is very similar to my easy 2-base all-in, which is, of course, inspired by Coffee. Coffee is a Chinese Terran player that really kind of comes up with a lot of very clever TVP builds. Incredibly good player. Has some of the best 2-base pushes in the game. And no doubt is someone that, you know, has had a bit of back and forth and a bit of planning working with Oliveira. So I love that we're finally seeing this Chinese TVP meta sneak its way across the world now that Oliveira is the world champion. All right, we've got the fourth gas coming down. Starport's going to swap over at 5 minutes. So about 6 minutes is when you've got medevacs and the like. He's going to just try and stim on top. Astray gets 1 Marine. Oh, he doesn't have Blink. Of course, because he went for such a quick third Nexus. Oh, Australia was not expecting Stim to be up so early off of what was a quick factory build. Because he goes, oh, you went factory before second barrack. Stim won't be that early. Oh, that's a huge mistake for Australia. And that makes things very, very scary for him now. Remember, Australia took an insanely early third. So Reynor really wants to push over there and damage it. But this is not a great time to push. 1 Marauder and like 10 Marines. It's not the scariest army. On the other hand, what can Australia actually have to defend this? Okay, Reynor goes in with the Reaper. He's going to dart in behind. We see an Immortal, a couple of Sentries, and a pack of Slow Zealots. Reaper's going to try and do what it can. Army just posturing at the front. He doesn't want to overcommit. Looks like he got 1 kill. Can he make it 2? Yes, he can. Oh, Australia's so afraid of the front of which he's going to lose a 3rd probe. All right, well, Reynor's micro paying off there, apparently. Looked like Reynor tried to go home to maybe save the mule. Pull that one off the mineral patch, but it did expire. He's going to try and drop in the main now, rotating up there. And he's got bio that's going to attack the 3rd at the same time. 3rd command center is building on location. 4th and 5th barracks go down. Oh, very nice play. Very nice play. The speed with which he queued those SCVs back to mining as well was kind of insane. There is a Colossus there, but you know what? Even if the units on the 3rd go down, the units in the main are going to do pretty well. Oh, he does get recalled on, but he gets a Colossus? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Oh, okay, luckily there's not much that shoots up, just a few Stalkers, and even these handful of Marines and Marauders are going to do big damage. Australia didn't leave anything at that base, and he's taking big damage now. Nice micro by Reynor, gets a few of those probes, not all of them. It's not a complete disaster for Australia. And remember that Reynor's 3rd base is, of course, only now coming up. There should be 2 Colossus out now, and that's always scary. But remember that because Australia took such a fast 3rd, where's the Twilight Council? He clearly doesn't have charge. I wonder if he's even made a Twilight Council yet. Is charge on the way? Is he going to try and go blink first? There's no Stargate for air control. So Reynor can drop all day. He can keep dropping and out-microing those Slow Zealots. He's just basically got to be wary of the Colossus, because it feels like Australia's committed to just, yeah, look at this. It's still Slow Zealots. It's just a pack of unupgraded gateway units with 2 Colossus and 2 Sentries. Now, Australia chasing into the siege tank. Oh, this is not good for Reynor, though. Losing that tank really sucks. Oh, there's an Immortal coming in behind that as well, remember. There is a lot of medevacs. He does have a siege tank, but he's got to protect that siege tank. He does. Man, I would put that siege tank on the high ground. I would, yeah. I mean, I like that his bio is way far out in front, and the tank does cover the ramp, which is good. You've got to be wary of those Colossus shots. Oh, Vikings are big. Vikings are big. But he's just got to make sure he protects that siege tank. If the tank goes down, he loses a large portion of his ranged units, which is stopping the Colossus from poking in and out. I mean, the Vikings as well do help with that. Oh, God, he was going to go for a run by. He did not expect Australia to commit here, but that tank and those Vikings are making this a big punish. And look at that Slow Zealots on the far right of the screen. Reynor with some very clever depot positioning, chunking that up, but he's lost his siege tank, and now his Vikings have gone down as well, and he's got a giant Protoss army in between his bases. This is not good for Reynor right now. He's already lost most of the SCVs on the 3rd. He's in panic. He's trying to pull back the Vikings here. I like that tank position. Remember, this is not a very agile army from Australia, so maybe Reynor can somehow do something, but I think this is the wise move for Australia. Just move down and focus the 3rd base down. Here we go. Oh, if he can get the Colossus, that would be big. The Vikings, but nice hot pickup by Australia. Can he get it? Nice hot pickups by Australia, though. He just won't lose that Colossus, man. Oh, no. He's got to keep the 3rd alive. Come on, don't lose the 3rd, Reynor. Don't lose the 3rd. Oh, no. The 3rd is going to go down. He loses his 3rd command center. 2 base versus 3 base now. He's going to have to pick up what he can on the south side and just try to bring those units back around. But with no 3rd command center, I mean, he's basically all in now. Is he pulling the boys? Okay, yeah, he just grabbed the SCVs off his mostly mined out main. He's going to pull the boys, do a bio tank SCV. Viking all in. He does have 4 Vikings, which can help against the Colossus, but it feels like there should be time for like charge to kick in. If DTs come out, it's game. He's got like 1 scan available, and oh god, the Prism in the main's going to ruin him, man. But it is only Slow Zealots, funnily enough, guys. It is only Slow Zealots. They'll do damage. They will definitely hurt him. Oh my god, giant arc of Protoss units. Australia with a huge spready of Protoss units. Oh my god, Reynor though focuses down the Colossus on the bottom side. The Vikings getting in. 2 of the Colossus have fallen, only 1 left. He glances at home, realizes this is the more important fight. He's going to focus on it. If he can get rid of that Colossus, it'll be big, and he does. He clicks it down. The Slow Zealots are not cutting the mustard here. You're just seeing how useless those Slow Zealots are. Not enough damage output in that army for Australia. And Australia, it looks like he just never got the Twilight Council. He was so committed to such low tech. And somehow Reynor gets in. But remember, Australia has so much money to work with. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a 4th base up somehow behind this as well. It's a big pack of bio, but Reynor has 6 SCVs, 1 mule mining. And these units are sacred. Notice he's only got 4 medevacs, but they're out of juice. So he's got to be very sparing with his stim. If he spams stim, he will lose to these warpins. Already, Australia's held onto his main base. Now, do we go after these probes, or do we move down and just try to get rid of the mining on the 3rd? It's scary because as Reynor, you've got to keep your army together. You have to keep your army together, and you can't let yourself get picked off by those Stalkers. But I don't think the Stalkers have Blink. If they had Blink, I think Reynor might be screwed. But without Blink, Australia can't really do much. He's just trying to bait stims and disengage probes and Stalkers and sentries trying to fight. Yeah, there's no Blink. There's no Blink. Oh my god, how did Australia not get Twilight? I think this was just meant to be a big mass unupgraded Gateway Colossus Sword, which is a really clever build. But I think Reynor is just surprising him with the strength. I mean, there's so many Gateway units, so I think Reynor's been overwhelmed, dude. He is going to drop there. He's got his last 6 Marauders, 1 Viking. It's a lot of Zealots. He cannot let those Zealots land hits. He cannot let... A Viking goes down. Oh, God. Okay, he saves the Marauders. Every unit taken. He gets the Stalkers. He got the Stalkers. He just took out the anti-air units right there. Australia, he's got a pack of Zealots. But Reynor's like, mate, Zealots only work versus people that can't micro, mate. I'm not some dude, some random Terran player who's going to let these Zealots hit me. Look at this. He saves every unit, picks up high ground, low ground, high ground, low ground. Oh no, Australia doesn't want Stalkers because they're just so valuable and they die so easily. But he just doesn't have any damage. He needs Robo units behind us. But remember, the Robo died. If he had a Colossus or something, it might be a different story. But look at these Zealots.
Nice. We got
nice, says Raynor.
Let's go big.
Let's go big. That's big, he says. And that was pretty damn impressive. I mean, let's be real. I do think Australia could have transitioned while killing his third base. If at any point here Australia put down a Twilight or something like that, he should have been fine. But still, pretty impressive. Just with the microing back on 2 sides like that and avoiding the fight, kiting it down and surviving as long as he did. That's the sort of talent which makes me really think Reynor shows incredible promise. That's where a lot of players fall apart, is when they've got a big push like that up in their guts. That's where Terrans fumble. But you notice how Reynor excels in those scenarios. And I think that often is the secret sauce that separates a very good pro Terran from the Beyonds, the Marus, the TYs. The very best in the world are the ones who can scramble back to their feet in chaotic situations like that. That's the special flair that makes me think this guy's got some amazing talent. All right, well, let's go into another game. We've got Harstem here. Same map, same spawn. And he's up against Harstem, who is, of course, a very clever Protoss player. Is not going to give him an easy time at all. And let's see how well that TVP carries over. I think, obviously, you know, day number 1 of studying this build, it's insane how fast he just picks up the kind of rhythm of it, though. That's really what surprises me about Reynor's play and how quick he gets. I really want to see him just try it, just for the joy of being like, hey, I am the first random champion in the world. I want to see him bring it in. Just play random for a whole tournament. Abuse the fact that your opponents need to scout you at the start. They can't do the most optimized openings. I feel like with his talent as a player and his ability to flow through different chaotic situations, he would absolutely be able to take a championship, because it is a big advantage. If you're already a good chaotic player and your opponents are more planning-based opponents who really need to have their build mapped out, a Serral or a Maru, I think would be super thrown off playing against Reynor playing random. Because Reynor's going to be happy to play risks and just take chances and go with it. Oh, man. I really do feel he has that potential. I think he'd need to give about 6 months of pretty serious practice to Terran and random, you know, to both of those. But I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. Do you think, is it pipe dream? Am I just imagining things? Do you think, oh, it might be true, like, but he's never actually going to put the time in for that because that's such a big risk as a pro gamer? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on exactly where you think it's going to go. Because the last time I remember, I think Gumiho was the last random pro to retire, and I think he was like maybe like round 32, round of 24 GSL back then in like 2012. I think GSTL was the last time he was playing random. It's a long time ago, the GSL Team League, the GSTL. Anyways, Harstem comes in with a pretty late probe scout, sees the command center, and it is going to be a Reaper first expand. No SCV scout here for Reynor so far. Oh man, I'm so excited. I love watching this, and I really would love to see a top player play random, because I've been competing with random a lot lately as well. And it is interesting the advantage you get from taking away your opponent's ability to plan from the opening stage. And it's also fascinating depending on who you play against and how they react. Like when I play against Hero, he cheeses me. Like he sends a probe immediately at the start. And he's like, oh, you're Terran? And he like just like proxies a gate and starts doing this crazy cheese. And I'm like, who proxy gates against a random player? Like it's so rare, but Hero is the sort of player who will do that to me in a weekly comp. You know, Dark will just like just scout me and bane bust me after the Overlord comes in and stuff. And then there's other guys who just play very conservatively, and I feel like I can get some more edges before they still kill me because they're pro gamers and they're a lot better than I am. Looks like the same opening here, guys. 3 barracks before second gas, which is a pretty good opening. I really do think it's very safe compared to like doing an old school Widowmine drop. You have so much more production that you're much more robust. So even though you're not scouting early, if your opponent does a surprise, you know, insert random attack here, you've got so much production and you can really block it quite well. I think 4-gate blink performs rather poorly against this because you can always defend the 4-gate blink with your bio tank, and then you can kind of go on forwards. Now, on the other hand, that's if you build tanks. If you don't build tanks and you can't scout what they're doing with the Reaper, and it turns out they're 4-gate blinking, and you just swap the factory off, then that could be an issue. He does see the Twilight, so he knows it's Twilight at least. Oh, he cancels on the factory. And he is, yeah, this is what I was talking about. If you do the swap around, one of the big issues here is you don't have any tanks. And about 5 minutes, depending on how they do the build, if they go Robo before Blink, they delay the Blink slightly to get the Robo started, they can hit you about 510 with like 8-9 Stalkers, about 525 with about 12 Stalkers. So that's a very scary moment in the game. And if you don't build Marauders or tanks, you'd be in big trouble. But notice he's building Marauders really early here, which makes him way safer. I've seen some players here just try to save all the gas for Engineering Bay upgrade, Starport, and just like pure Marine and only build Marauders a bit later. And if you've got like 15 Marines, Stim and Combat Shields isn't quite finished, and Blink Stalkers come in, 8 of them, you don't have a bunker, no tank, you're screwed. You're just going to get picked apart by like a parting style player. But if you get away with this, on the other hand, it's so effective. Obviously, we've got the Cyril's voice there. Sorry for the audio garble with the Raynor's sub alert. If you guys want to watch Raynor's stream, go check him out. Twitch.tv/Raynor_RB. There's a link down below in the description. I think it's _RB. If you search Raynor StarCraft, it'll come up. But there is a link down below in the description. Definitely go give him a sub and a follow. The other day, Cyril was streaming, and Reynor was in his chat, making fun of him, saying that hey, he was washed up and had to go to the StarCraft retirement home of becoming a streamer as well.
This game feels much better than the last one.
This game feels a lot better than the last one. Reynor's saying, of course, just kind of getting reps with the build, hitting all the little details, and notice like his money's really low, that top right, and not getting supply blocked. And these are big things. Now, there's not a lot of interaction, but this is a good build for limiting that interaction and just seeing, hey, how good are you at executing a build order in the absence of distraction? We know Reynor's good when there's a lot of action going on, a lot of micro. That's not what we're doubting. We're doubting his organization, his ability to adapt to his opponent's strategies, and his ability to make the right decisions. Because I think one of the hardest skills with Terran is when to pick a fight. Like, when do you take a fight and when do you back away? And that's the difference between Maru and a lot of the other Terrans. Is like, he's very clever at just not committing to a fight. And when he's having those off days where we go, Maru's not performing that well. Man, he never wins so-and-so tournament. It's usually because he's committing to fights that he shouldn't. I mean, recent grand finals versus Oliveira. Flies, he's defending Reapers that run by his mineral line, flies his medevac straight into the enemy cyclone and gets his drop killed. That's Maru. Oh, look at this flank, look at this flank. Oh, but he showed it too early. Oh, Reynor goes for a very clever move. But with that, you're meant to only show the flank, the drop, once they blink back. You've got to hide it till then, because if they're still stutter stepping and they're like, oh, you're there, they just blink in the other direction. Harstam only loses 1 or 2 Stalkers. That could have been a lot worse. Very clever move, though, and I love the way he did that. That was really well done by Reynor. I've got to wonder, though, isn't there an observer out there that sees him doing this sort of maneuver? Does he just know there's no observer? I wonder what Harstam's build. He's going to go for the double drop towards the main. Here comes some Zealots. Okay, so you can tell Harstam's a bit blind right now. He sent those Zealots in probably thinking Reynor had moved most of his army out of the map. Sees a lot of the army sitting there. The double drop going into the main, though. And this should... I mean, if there's Zealots on the map... What? I was going to say it should catch him off guard. He's got a cannon, a battery, and a pack of gateway units. Okay, so Harstam clearly has an observer in the north of the map. This is something you got to keep track of. Is how did he know I was there? He spotted that somehow. He knows about that somehow. So he was so well prepared. Third command center will move out now. Reynor's macroing really well. We still don't really know what style Harstam's playing, though. Where's the third base, number 1? How many gases does he have, number 2? These are all very important questions. Reynor has no information on this, but he's doing a very good job of defending the Zealots for now. Harstam's doing a good job of not throwing them away. He's keeping them alive. And you can tell Reynor is playing a pretty chilled out style. A lot of Terrans stress. They freak out. It seems like Reynor's pretty confident. And look at that. Saves all of those Marines. Wow. The Zealots are being annoying. Oh, here comes Harstem. Harstem's going for a big attack. But look at that. Reynor splits his army. He F2'd his army to the front, borrowed his mines, and then he split the drop forwards to get ready to backstab because he saw units in the middle of the map that looked like more than just a few Zealots. That looked like the whole army coming his way. And here we go. Yeah, it is. The tank has not sieged. There we go. He does siege the tank. But, oh, the Phoenix hallucinations were trying to set off the Widow Mines. He pulls the SCVs from the third base, and look at that. Cancel on the fourth. Nice move by Reynor. Right when Harstem was trying to be the one who was bullying him and get up a free fourth base behind it, Reynor leaves units on the map tactically and immediately goes for the attack. He knows that Reynor is Harstem's going to try and pull up on those units, so he's like, okay, let's go for the push. Let's go for the push. This is a very decisive move because he knows Harstem's committed to a lot of those Zealot run-bys in that mid-tier army. And look at this. Indeed it is. It's Immortal Sentry Zealot. There's no splash damage in here just yet. He's got to get in there before Harstem gets splash damage. He knows Harstem will be transitioning into either a Storm or probably Colossus here. And he's got to get in there before that gets up. This army, especially with all those Widow Mines, will slay Zealots. But oh, his drop does get jumped on the top. He's going to stim, tries to run the medevac back. The rest of the army will come forward. He accidentally attacks the rocks for half a moment there. But burrowing the Widow Mines pretty darn well there. And actually, oh, okay, this is what we're talking about. Oh, no, first Disruptor takes out 4 Widow Mines. He's going to try and capitalize on it, though. He gets an Immortal. Oh, my God, a crazy shove forward for Reynor. But he realizes he's got to get in there before extra Disruptors get out. It looks like there's a second Robo in the back of it. He's got to push in right now. Reynor with Killer Instinct, he realizes he has to get in there before these Disruptors come out, or this is going to become a much more complicated and difficult game. But he senses he's got the opening there. The micro is rather insane. The way he's constantly splitting his units up, oh, it's so effective. Widow Mines are still out front there as well. Disruptors are coming down. Oh, that one hasn't fired. Oh, no. But he does manage to focus it down in time. Reynor with that Killer Instinct. He goes to start his Ghost upgrade. Of course, you can tell he's practiced so little in this patch. He doesn't even realize the Ghost upgrade isn't even there anymore. So that was literally a piece of old Terran muscle memory kicking in. And he gets in, finds the crisp little narrow window, and gets past him just before the double Robo transition was complete.
It's so easy. You scan the second base. They have no tech, no gases.
He says it's so easy when they go charge. If they don't have any gases, they don't have any tech or splash damage. He says it's so easy. You just get up a big army, push across the map, and kill them. I love it. Okay, I like that understanding. And that's exactly what we talked about. The push before they have splash damage. He said, hey, it's so easy. When you get that bio ball together, that's really huge. If we had to criticize Harstem, I think the Zealots needed to stay more active on the map and try to pin him back. Maybe a Warp Prism in the main to try to slow him down, or Harstem probably looked at that replay and said, hey, get those Disruptors 20, 30 seconds earlier and changes everything. But that knowledge already to be so bloody confident is absolutely awesome. GG, well played. I honestly think if he actually keeps working on this, studying build orders, we could see our first random champion. Let me know if you guys agree or not, and I will keep my eyes tuned for any more updates. If he streams more Terran, we'll hopefully do some Terran vs. Zerg and some TVT to update you guys on exactly where he is in those matchups if we find some good maps. And wait, is that his win rates? Hold on a second, let's pause right there. Terran versus Protoss, 53%. Terran versus Terran, 35%. And Terran versus Zerg, 67%. Okay, so he has a deep understanding of how to beat Zerg. Makes sense, Zerg being his main. His TVP is just above 50%, but his TVT is terrible. So that's going to be the matchup he really needs to study if he wants to actually become a good Terran player. That is a matchup. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? It's your mirror matchups that you usually lag behind in. Look, same for his PvP up here, guys. His PvT, 65%. PvZ, 62%. PvP, only 29%. Okay, this tells us Reynor has not been studying his mirror matchups, and if there's one big standout thing, that's it. That's ridiculous. Reynor, please work on your mirror matchups. We want to see a random champion. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.